Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
We can't sing songs yet. We got another.
That's true.
We got another week.
Yeah.
At least in my sense, we got another. Well, technically, like basically another week.
No, like literally, like a week.
And then legally.
Yeah. Or for me, a week till like a week from tomorrow.
Trying to be the penguin. The fun penguin, not the mobster penguin.
I would argue that that's the fun penguin.
Where did we last leave off? We were in the
north.
In the north? That's a bad place, right? No, because what was it with the one dude who you got was saying sent somewhere? You were like, "Good luck, buddy."
Oh yeah.
Was that the north?
Yeah.
Who's going to the north?
I think Fallman was going to the north from Mustang's team.
Yeah,
it was Fallman. That was the guy who had to babysit Barry the Chopper.
Aww.
So
he just gets it rough.
He's got a rough go of things.
Babysit a serial killer in a mecha suit. I know it's not a mecha suit.
Are you ready? 'Cause I'm not.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Actually no, this will be fine. We're gonna hit one episode today that I'm probably gonna do something on. I don't know.
Well, last time we made the people who needed to make it to the north made it to the north,
which is good. And now we're gonna have fun adventures in the snow.
And Kimberly was there.
I don't know,
he's not in the north. Is he in the north?
He was in the north, yeah, because it was cold.
Oh.
But he wasn't in Briggs, but he was like in the northern region.
Yay. But he's not in the north. He's not in the north place where we don't want him to be.
Right. Welcome back to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I'm your host, Ken Cluthy. With me is my co-host,
Dara Whitman.
How's it going, Dara?
I'm not traumatized.
Hooray!
It's like a lot happened, but like...
A lot happened, yeah.
Surprisingly. It feels like these episodes went by really fast, and then, I'm like, did a lot happen? But then you remember, and then you're like, oh, we got a lot of info.
Mm-hmm.
We met somebody. We met some people.
It was a really good time.
We met a homunculi.
Yeah, we met one of the homunculus, like a new homunculus, which is fun. Someone that we've seen, like, lanced, like a shot of before, but now are formally introduced to. And so I think we should get started. Today we are talking about, of course, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood with episodes 34, Ice Queen, and episode 35, The Shape of This Country.
Oh, I totally labeled that wrong. Oh, well.
That's okay. You can always change it later.
That's true.
So we're going to go ahead and start on a synopsis of Ice Queen, which is very fittingly named because, one, there's a lot of ice, and two, there's an absolute Ice Queen in our ranks here. We gotta remember
the north.
Remember snow.
It flurried yesterday.
It did. I actually got flurries down by me, and I was surprised. So, of course, if we remember last episode, Ed and Al had made their way to the north, and so they were looking toward to go to Briggs, which is kind of that northern fortress or that base, kind of on the border of Drachma, which is the country to the north, which is very like Russia coded.
And we don't like?
I think we have no reason to like or dislike them. I think, again,
I mean, if they're Russian coded.
If they're Russian coded, then we as Americans are legally...
We're fine with it because definitely they won't try to go after us and hack our system.
I was this close to making a joke about Drachma and election interference, but I couldn't find a place to put it.
I was gonna say, because I watched just like one like YouTuber, and apparently his channel got hacked, and it looked like by Russian people, not like the government, because I don't think they care.
Yeah, right. But people just maybe from there. I mean, there's all kinds of weird.
Listen, we're not being political that we record.
Yeah, or that much. I mean, everything is political in it.
This is an anime.
This is animes are never political.
Yeah, Russia, you never tried to
Don't ask for sources.
You never tried to go after Japan, Russia,
check us.
Right?
Oh my god! Wait, is that the one that's still technically on? Is it the Sino-Japanese war that's still technically?
Oh, I thought it was the one where the Tsar Nicholas was like, "Let's go attack Japan," because they wanted like a military points, and then they were losing.
The two countries ended their formal state of war with the Soviet-Japanese Joint Declaration of 1956, but as of 2022 have not resolved the territorial dispute over ownership of the Kurils. Due to the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, relations became very tense after Japan imposed sanctions against Russia.
That's fine.
So, I apologize for getting Russia versus Sino wrong, because Sino's China. To be fair, they're neighbors. So, like, my brain, I see the map, and they're very close together.
But which one has better food?
I mean, everyone loves borscht, right?
I don't think I've ever had borscht.
I can't say I've had borscht either.
I think because that's beef, right?
It's beets.
Oh, beets.
Pretty sure it's beets.
I thought there was like meat in it.
Is there meat in borscht? Hold on. We're getting so derailed. It does contain, it contains meat. Well, it's made with bone stock, and then you can use different kind of meats in there.
Yeah.
It typically features beets, cabbage, and potatoes, but you can add meat. But I think about beets when I think of borscht. Anyway,
what are we talking about?
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So, of course, as we recall, the Elrics made their way to the north, and they had a brief conflict with the folks at the wall, because we get to know a lot about the people in Fort Briggs in these two episodes. And kind of what they are about. They're very kind of removed. They're obviously serving the military, and they have a lot of like military pride and everything like that.
And they're like really close to like each other.
Yeah, they have a very close bond with each other, but they're removed in a way where everything that they do is kind of from a like survivor or like survivorship mentality. So everything that they do is kind of removed from like the petty politics of everything and more about staying alive. And so then we get to see how that really differs from the internal politics of Central and becomes more of just like people who like don't have time to be petty with each other and are more focused on survival. But it is a very like dog-eat-dog world up in
that's kind of the thing. If you take like everything away from people, essentially, not like, well, like, take away, like, all, like, the money and, like, the stuff that they have, all you really have is survival.
Yeah.
Which is probably why, like, I guess, like, people in, like, plane crashes get along after a point, because, like, you don't have a choice.
Right. Yeah.
That's the point.
Exactly. So...
Oh, that's what we should do with the rich people.
Put them on a plane?
And make it crash. Not that they... so they don't... No. I'm not saying that they die.
Yeah.
I'm saying so that they can... So that they don't... all they have is, like, their survival.
We'll just have them recreate Yellow Jackets.
Well, that's kind of fucked up. Did you ever watch that?
I haven't. I know a lot about it, but I have not watched it.
I watched the pilot like twice,
yeah.
but I don't think you would like it.
No, I don't think it's my thing, but I find the concept very interesting, but I think I would get too stressed out while watching it.
I mean, they do have like literally a thing in the first episode where like the girls are playing soccer, and then one of the girls just like falls like straight at her knee, and then the bone pops out. Oh, that's in the pilot.
A good old compound fracture.
Yeah.
Oh man, we should really talk about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Where there's no compound fractures.
I haven't even read the first sentence of the synopsis yet.
This episode's also going to be an hour and a half long.
Oh my goodness, I don't think it's going to be that bad.
It's not.
But so we get started kind of in the aftermath of that brief fight that they had outside.
You need to be careful walking around in a snowstorm. The flesh that's touching your automail will freeze, and you need to oil it, or it will stiffen.
So does that
like a Tin Man
guy have a different...
I can't get this thing unstuck.
Oh no.
Hey! My head!
A combination of duralumin, carbon fiber, nickel, copper, and so on.
Nice. Science.
And here I assumed it was just iron. It's no wonder I couldn't do anything with it.
Are you planning on telling him all our secrets?
Why wouldn't I? He's a state alchemist. He has a right to know, doesn't he?
You're kidding.
He has the pocket watch.
You mean this kid is the equivalent of a major?
Suck it.
Do you have a mechanic?
Yeah, but she's in Rush Valley.
And she let you come up north without explaining all of this to you?
Not exactly.
I recommend you send for her, assuming that you'd like to stay alive.
Fine.
Winry, can you come to the north?
Seriously? It wasn't even that good a cup of coffee.
This is the North. Get used to it.
Standard automail is not good in the North because that metal to skin contact will give you frostbite and severely damage your skin.
Yeah.
So that way they had to come up with a different kind of alloy to use in the metal that they make for automail. And they also have to, I think, just there's different kinds of maintenance that are required with it, and that's why Ed was not able to transmute Buccaneer's arm when he tried to last episode. Question, Dara.
Was that because he thought that it was one thing, but it was actually another thing? So technically, now that he knows what it is, he can transmute it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. Because one of the main concepts of alchemy is like breaking things down, rebuilding them. But in order to do that, you have to understand the makeup of everything, which is why alchemists are scientists, because you have to understand what everything is made out of. Even Ed, who just can go like this and transmute things, it's basically, it's the intention of it and still understanding what things are made of. So the more we learn about alchemy, kind of the more interesting, or the more we realize why it's a field of science and not always inherently one of combat. Also, poor Al, because Buccaneer drops by and Al's head is still stuck in his armor, kind of like the sawtooth thing he has going on there. It's like the hair, the kind of the plume that he has.
My hair!
Oh, honey!
Aw, oh, poor Al.
It looks awful.
Ice Queen.
Oh, poor Al.
It's
and
like,
it stays like that, I think,
Well,
for like
now,
the rest of the show.
From what I hear, you two are
not
close
even
to
when
my
you get to a
brother,
warmer climate.
Alex.
Al's hair is
I
significantly
didn't even know
shorter.
I cared that much.
I think it's the one thing of Al that's not metal, I think, and so he's like, Al's just like, it looks terrible. And so he does care to a degree about his appearance, because it's the one physical thing that he's got is his body at this point, even though it's not his proper body. So I get it, and it can't grow back because it's not organic. So I just feel bad for.
Let's
for
get
Al.
his body back then.
I hike up here, a state alchemist with an official letter of introduction, and this is how I'm treated?
Yup.
What's wrong with you people? Do you have no sense of propriety? That general threatened to tear my arms off!
They're all insane.
Hello, little red runt.
The big strong guy we know and love.
Alex is doing just great.
No matter. Never mind him. Tell me why you would
not like
bypass the
Armstrong?
command center to meet me. I want to know it all.
He knows
including
siblings.
why your armor's empty.
They have a exchange there because Armstrong wants to know what the hell is their deal. Like, why are they here? What are they doing? Like, are you a spy? And like for like 8 million times, they have to be like, we're not spies. We're not spies.
Well, because like they show the alchemist watching, and you tell like
Yeah.
that's kind of hard to fake.
Yes.
So it's like, I mean, you can't assume that like they stole it, but like,
Yeah. Well, or even then, I mean, but also I think Ed's title is pretty well known. Oh, the Fullmetal Alchemist. I think a lot of people know him because.
so
he's
why would
such
you
a
assume
unique
he's a
case.
spy if like he's well known?
You can still,
Especially
you
from Drachma.
You
Like,
can
why?
still be recruited by the other. It's not like they think that they're from there originally. You can still like, cut a deal with the other side to like be
Right,
a
but then for me that'd be making think like, okay, so then somebody from Drachma would have to go to Central to like recruit them.
Yeah.
Or he would have to go, or like I would have been in Drachma, but then at that point he probably would have gotten a frostbite.
Yeah.
So
I think because of the conflict that specifically the people at Briggs have with the border of Drachma, I think there's a lot of paranoia.
That's fair.
There's a ton
Okay.
of paranoia about Drachma. So anything that happens, not unlike the United States' relationship with Russia.
What?
In the Cold
no,
War.
it's
and
fine. It's fine.
Now.
It's fine now.
It's fine now. It's fine now.
It's fine.
It's fine now. So where we think that everything that happens that's bad is inherently due to a Russian asset.
Hey, remember we didn't want to get political?
Everything is politics. And nothing is ever not politics.
Except Pokemon?
Pokemon can be politics. Not as much though.
Except
Significantly less than Fullmetal
Except for
Alchemist.
Hello Kitty?
Everything is politics.
There has to be
I
something
cannot
that
stress this.
There has to
enough.
be something that isn't politics.
Everything's politics.
There has to be something.
Drop it in the comment section below. We'll find a way to make it political.
My Little Pony?
Everything is political, Dara.
No.
So it's okay. It's okay. There.
Can't we just enjoy a nice feast?
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Folks Folks around here have plenty they want to hide. Everybody up north has something that he or she doesn't like to talk about.
So our mom died, and we were
If
like...
this information reaches certain ears, I could be court-martialed.
Even I have secrets like that.
She don't give a shit.
Listen.
Maybe if we can do it without mentioning the Fuhrer or the homunculi.
That's true.
What are you whispering about? Start talking now!
Fine. Let's just tell her we're trying to get our bodies back.
Yeah, that's probably play it safe. They kind of have something between them. They're like, we cannot tell them the exact reason why they're here.
can't tell. He says like, we can hear you. You're just whispering.
They're like if we want to get into like the real reason why we're here, it would involve divulging in secrets such as the Fuhrer is a homunculus, which we do not want to get out there. And so Ed says like, hey, there's information out there that could get us court-martialed, and Armstrong doesn't give a shit. She's like, yo, me too, like it's fine, like we don't keep secrets out here. Like everyone has something that they're carrying,
but you don't know if there's like
a
spy within them or like
right, exactly, like they don't. So it's very interesting because in the perspective of the Briggs fort, they're like, oh, like anyone here could be a spy for Drachma. Not anyone, but like anyone kind of coming from outside of their bubble. And in the Elrics, they have a similar mindset where like, oh, anyone couldn't be kind of in cahoots with not a foreign power, but literally the people underneath Central Command.
It's like basically anybody unless like we're basically anybody except for like Mustang's group and Armstrong and other Armstrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that's like people in the government, not like I was gonna say Winry, but like Winry's not really in the government, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, and the others don't really know at this point like who they can trust, so they keep it real basic. They try to be as like, you know, removed from it as possible and just give them the, hey, we're trying to get our bodies back and we need to find this person because they have details that we think could help us get them. So they do kind of divulge that they are looking for Mei Chang so they can figure out how to, so they can kind of get more information on alchemy. Mm-hmm.
I see. So that's why you're looking for this girl with the strange cat.
Yep.
I understand.
So does that mean you're
I'm not
gonna
done.
help?
What I understand is this. You two are a couple of reckless wretches who cause trouble with every last thing you do.
True.
I don't... Get out of here right now!
She's so mean.
At least that's what I'd like to say, but I'm interested in alchemy. You two. She has a skill our country doesn't, right? You can never know too much. Especially here in the north, where we're right next to Drachma. If we use it right, alchemy could make an excellent weapon.
Wait a second. Alchemy is specialized for medical purposes. You can't just...
Be quiet. You're not... My job is far more perilous than yours. I will make use of any knowledge that I can get my hands on. Leave the task of finding this alchemy girl to me. You two will stay here inside the fort.
I'm so scared.
So are we supposed to like
And
her?
Major Miles.
I
Yes,
never
sir.
said that.
Put them to work.
She's a very
man who does
compelling
not
character.
work.
You
has
just
no right
like her.
I would just let her say it. That's all.
Those
I believe they may have witnessed some carnage in their time, but I can tell that on the inside they remain soft and weak.
Yes, because they
what's
are
more,
teenagers.
They're still hiding something. Those two have a secret they aren't telling us.
You mean
That is true.
Yes, but also,
Yeah.
what if there's a spy in your ranks?
So,
Armstrong is like, oh, alchemy. Cool. Yeah, it's good to know new things because then you can use them as weapons against your enemies.
Well, I was gonna say, and I like this, and they did this also in the next episode, is that
Yeah.
like when we're like, okay, we need to tell them something, they kind of just like make a cut, and then it's like I said, we told everybody the information because we're like, we already know all the info, like the audience knows everything, so it's kind of nice that we're just like skipping past it at this point.
Yeah, we don't have to like go through the whole thing of like having a whole exchange about it because like time is precious. Especially in this show, like we only got like 24 minute episodes.
We didn't spend like 4 episodes being like, oh my god, he doesn't have a body in his thing.
Right, which I think is a problem that does exist in anime. I mean, there's a lot of like jokes, especially like Dragon Ball Z era of like while someone's powering up, you'll have like 6 different flashbacks and they'll like re-explain things over and over again. I think that's a lot more like serialized shows. Like I'm thinking about like the TV Tokyo, like Naruto, like original One Piece and things like that, where like we got a pad for time, so there are shows where like that is something that happens a lot, where like everything gets re-explained and like re-shown like time and time again.
I literally,
Fullmetal Alchemist is really good at not doing that.
I mean, they are in the beginning. They're not
a little bit, sure,
Yeah.
a little bit, but like we're getting to the point now where we can be we trust the audience. Like if you've made it to this point, like you should know. And if you don't, that's on you.
There's only like one thing I remember from any Dragon Ball Z thing that I ever watched, and that's like somebody was in like that, like, remember that in Empire Strikes Back, like Luke was in like that thing in the beginning when he was
yeah.
So it was like somebody was in that.
Oh yeah.
And then he was like, I'm healed, and then he went to go fight. I don't know what that was. I don't know what.
I can tell you, I wasn't big into Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know.
Fair warning.
I think it was just like on Cartoon Network one time, and I was like, I think I was just like waiting for Ed and Eddie to come on.
Mm-hmm. The important stuff that American television.
That show was weird.
Yeah, it was. That show scared me as a kid, actually. Something about it was like very off-putting to me. I was a very sensitive child. I'm a very sensitive adult. You gonna say something?
I was gonna say, doesn't anime have some like not sensitive stuff?
Oh my god!
Haven't you showed me several traumatic stuff?
I mean, look at like my suggested characters on the side here. Like.
Nina Tucker's okay, right?
Yeah, she's doing great. She went off to a farm up north.
Well, I'm assuming that,
Don't worry about it.
That, like, she got separated from Alexander because...
Yep, they used magic and everything's back to normal and everyone is happy, don't question it.
Well, remember, all dogs go to heaven.
All dogs do go to heaven. Little girls, not so much, but all the dogs do at least, so that's all that matters.
She did nothing wrong.
She did nothing wrong. She didn't do anything wrong. Anyway... So
her father is burning in hell.
Yes, as he deserves to be. So after that exchange with Armstrong, we're kind of seeing more of Armstrong's character as we kind of go on. She is the titular Ice Queen in this episode.
She's also kind of the opposite of her brother.
Completely opposite of her brother, which is very fun. And I think they mention, she asks about Alex. Kind of in this episode, I think it's in this episode, she's like, oh, how's Alex doing? And they're like, oh my god, he's great. And then she's like, she seems very annoyed by that. So it seems they have some kind of conflict going on because, well, they're obviously very different. I think
they're like,
or General Armstrong is very firmly military and is like, we can use things as weapons and do this. And Alex Armstrong is he's soft.
He's a teddy bear.
He's a big teddy bear.
I don't think there was like a fight between them. It kind of just feels like they're so different enough because like the fact of the matter is that like I feel like that's why she's upset with him because like probably like of like the whole because he didn't like abandon. He wasn't like a deserter. He just like he just refused to fight because of the genocide.
Yeah,
thing, which
or he wasn't fighting that great.
Which is why like
they kind of sent him away.
Which is why he is where he is, and because the fact of the matter is like he like gave the Edwards a letter to give to his sister.
Yeah,
which makes you think that like. He at least, like, trusts her.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah.
But also, like, he might also maybe, like, look up, because, like, they said she was older, right?
Yeah, she's the older
So she might, like, look up to her a bit.
Yeah. I don't think I told you about this. So I was going back, I was editing the episode with the Ishval War episode, and...
That was fun, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a great time. And so I went back and I was reading some manga panels, and there is a scene that they did not add in the anime, that it's so brutal. It's, So it's Armstrong, and there's like in the middle of a conflict, and then there's like a older woman and a child who are like kind of caught up in this, and they're stressed out, they don't know where to go. And Armstrong kind of like uses alchemy to like open a path that they can escape from, and then seconds later Kimberly kills them, like blows them up, and Kimberly's like, good thing no one else saw that, or you would have been court-martialed. And then he's just like devastated by that. It's so brutal, and it just shows that like in that conflict any ounce of humanity was punished. I'm not just Armstrong, but like through the rock bells as well, like any ounce of humanity that people had during that time was obliterated. So it's so brutal, man.
I'm thinking this Kimberly guy's not so good.
You know what, I'm inclined to believe that Kimberly sucks.
Maybe he shouldn't have a Philosopher's Stone. And
maybe he shouldn't have two Philosopher's Stones. Oh my goodness. We are only on the second paragraph of this episode. Jesus.
Exactly what kind of work will you have us doing? The doctor said people around here have a lot of things to hide too. So what are you hiding, Major? It's no fair for you guys to ask all the questions and never answer any.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just a guy.
You really want to know?
Okay.
We'll get explained right now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute.
And it's fallen.
I don't understand.
Ed just starts trying to make conversation. He's like, hey, everyone here has something they're trying to hide. What are you trying to hide?
Quiet.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, like, Because, like, I was thinking, like, is he, like, what, because, like, his skin is a bit darker.
Yeah, he has, like, the light hair and the darker skin, which, like, is a pretty telltale trait of the people of Ishval.
But that general guy also kind of had light hair and darker skin.
He's more, like, they're colored slightly differently. I think Raven's just more of just, like, not, but he doesn't, his hair's more, like, gray, as in, like, it was dark and then has, like, grayed a little bit, rather than the Ishvalans. That where their telltale traits are, they have like the darkened complexion and then like the kind of the white hair, and then the red eyes, like specifically. So those are all the marks. There are definitely people of color in this universe that, like, because Emestrians are typically like white, a lot of blonde hair, very like European coded, but there's definitely other people like who live in the country that have like darkened complexions or, you know, other traits that aren't like inherently like that like Western
and
European.
we leave them alone to live in peace.
Yeah, because they're not those other guys. Racism. It's terrible. So speaking of which, what you're in the middle of talking about Miles?
No, we were talking about him, and then I said like because I thought it was like there's something up with the general because like he also had like darker skin like everybody else.
Yeah,
that's why I was. That's why I said that was the only thing.
Oh yeah, but he but specifically this guy who's kind of been next to Armstrong has like kind of looks sort of Ishvalan, but we don't really get a full confirmation on that. And kind of through this conversation, he kind of turns around and reveals he's been wearing sunglasses this entire time, so his eyes have been obscured. So once he takes the glasses off, like he's revealed to be of Ishvalan descent. He does have the red eyes, and they kind of have a conversation about that.
It's true that Ishvalan blood flows in my veins, but my father and my grandmother were not from that region. They were a different race. My eyes are Ishvalan, though. My grandfather's blood runs strong.
No, it's not of the pure blood.
It was your people who destroyed the land of my grandfather.
Yeah, well, they didn't.
That's true.
Ishvalan, your people destroyed our countryside. And one of you is responsible for murdering my friend's parents.
Careful, brother.
We know that people.
So let's be friends.
Damn.
But that's the first time I've heard anyone give me that kind of an answer.
What, you were testing me?
I know, it was rude. To be honest, I'm getting tired of it. But you're different, aren't you?
You're racist.
Well, Major, an Ishvalan tried to kidnap me, nearly killed me, and then briefly fought alongside me. After all
that's
that...
That's not Ishval's farm.
Yeah. That's just... There's some guy.
Wait a minute.
Besides,
like
I
real
think
life.
people
like
should try to ignore their race and just treat each other as equals.
Literally, why can't we all just get along? So he explains that
he's mixed.
Yeah, he's mixed. Literally, like he is Ishvalan on his grandfather's side, and so you know, even though he's only like maybe 25% Ishvalan, let's say, it's just like very strong genetics, and he looks very Ishvalan. And it's also important to know that Ed says, kind of building on the world and the inherent kind of racism in this country, that there were Ishvalans serving in the Emestrian military before the conflict. He says, but at the start of the conflict, they were all kind of purged from the military. And so he's very...
When we say purged...
Yeah, I think just removed from duty.
So not...
Probably not. But if they were... but there is a likelihood that they may have been, like, deported. I don't know.
That's not even what I was thinking.
Oh, no. I think they were just removed from service.
So
not killed. I don't think so.
To make Philosopher's Stones.
No.
You sure?
I'm not sure, okay. But there's I think the order was not to kill them. I think the order, because I think that at the beginning of the conflict there was not the extermination order.
Okay.
So the extermination order came 7 years into the conflict, and it was at the very conflict that they were like purged from service. So they weren't killed. They were like probably removed from service. Probably a likelihood that they got deported and then ended up in the conflict. Was that because
they figured out how to make a Philosopher's Stone within that 7 years, and they were like,
No, they've known forever how to make a Philosopher's Stone. It was more like I think the conflict was probably not going the way they wanted to, and so because I think there was probably more conflict than outright taking over than they imagined, and then they put out the order just to like exterminate. That's speculation on my part. I don't think that's outwardly stated.
Okay.
So again, I think there's more to this entire thing than just killing people for the purpose of Philosopher's Stones. I think there's a little more Especially we'll see that next episode kind of talking about like what it is, because there's a crucial piece that we're missing. We understand a lot of things that are going on. There's a crucial piece we're missing. So we're still waiting on that. We have 30 episodes of the show left. So like, fret not, people. But we have time to get there.
I do think we need to figure out everything before like the final episode.
Oh, we will.
Because I feel like there's going to be at least like a Avatar: Last Airbender like 4-part.
Yeah.
Or maybe longer, like final battle thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good call.
And I kind of feel like there needs to be also like a few episodes of like preparation for that, and maybe some fighting there. So I feel like within probably, I'm gonna hardball this here.
Ooh.
Definite fact that I'm making up right now.
Yeah, calling it now.
I think
place your bets.
Within the next 15 episodes,
fair,
we're gonna know everything.
Yeah,
by that time. So like. Yeah, so I think
watch this space. We're gonna see if that's true. So, but yeah, so Miles is.
I mean, by that earlier, I'm saying like by 15, we'll know everything. But it could be earlier. I could be.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good bet. So
we're not putting money on it.
I don't remember because it's been a long time since, especially I watched the back half of the series. So like, there's again details. I'm like figuring out as we go, but. So we have that interaction with Miles, and part of that as well is that Miles is not kind of shying away from the fact that he is of Ishvalan heritage. He kind of shares that, you know, it was an interesting concept to be in the military during that time of the conflict, because he's kind of serving in the Austrian military, but in the meantime, back where, you know, a lot of his family lived, a lot of his extended relatives, and people that he knows, are getting killed, are like getting exterminated. And so he kind of like just puts that out there. And Ed doesn't really shy away from this. Ed isn't like, oh, I'm sorry about that. Ed's like, okay, well, he's like, because Miles says like, you know, your people did that. And Ed's like, okay, well, like someone who's Ishvalan killed my friend's parents and also tried to kill me one time. So like,
and we're like, Ed, that's not the same though.
So right. There's a difference between like one guy who's on to like revenge fuel.
And like what Scar did was definitely bad.
Yeah.
But
it's different. And also, it's also important to note here, and not that this makes any difference to Edward Elric, but it's important to note that Scar's actions were not approved or supported by the people in his community.
Right.
Like, he had times where he, remember, was in that camp after he got kind of beat up.
Yeah, they were like,
don't do that, man. Like, violence begets violence. Like, don't do that shit. And he was like, what's that? Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Right, and then, like, the people, like, when, when Ed was in Xerxes, and like some Ishvalan people were like talking about, like, told him about what happened to one of his parents. Like, they were like they kind of apologized for that.
Yeah. So,
but like Ed's not being great at this moment.
No, but I think, it is almost important that Ed is doing this, because I think that actually earns the respect of Miles, because I think he's kind of annoyed about, you know, all this bad stuff happened, and now everyone kind of looks at him with like pity and like guilt
like,
that all this happened.
Your entire family died.
And you're like, sorry. And they're like, oh, sorry about that. It's like when someone makes like an off-color joke and there's someone like in the targeted group, like in the room, and you just go like, oh, sorry. What?
No, I don't know if I'm trying to allude to the fact, because I'm going to say something like really dramatic. What I was actually thinking of is the Lonely Island song. Oh my god, what's it? I forget the name of it, but it's like when Andy Samberg is like the joke is like white guy Rastafarian.
Oh.
Oh, it's like Ross something. I forget. Mm-hmm. But like there's like this part where he's like singing the chorus part, and then there's like a group of like actual Rastafari. I think it's like,
oh my god.
I think it's just like, it's like going like really loud, and then he walks past him and he's like,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I think some people didn't get the joke because they thought he was making fun of Rastafari. It's like, no, we're making fun of white people.
Yeah. But Ed does have this moment here where, like, again, Ed's not like outwardly racist, but he says like, hey, I've worked with, you know, I've met people, you know, all different kind of backgrounds, and, you know, everyone's different. We should be really focused on like people as individuals and not like stereotyping entire like races of people and everything like that.
All lives matter?
Yeah, so Ed kind of had like a little bit of like an all lives matter moment, which like is I think it like serves the purpose in the story, and we're not going to debate that any further. But it's also
well, it's also like a thing of like that's how like he grew up and that's what he experienced. within the last.
And he did mention too, like, it's not just that, like, Scar, you know, he has a probably relationship with Scar. I think he also just mentioned the conflict itself. Like, Ed now grew up very close to the conflict. They weren't in Ishval, but they lived in the southeast region where a lot of that was happening. So, you know, they were close enough to the conflict where it did have, like, a major effect on their living situation.
Yeah, and he also found, like, the guy who's been trying to kill you killed, like, essentially your aunt and uncle.
Yeah, so there is something personal about that. And Ed too, like, Ed is very, I think there's a lot of idealism that Ed has, even though he has such, like, a really complicated background. But I think this is something that's really interesting too, and this is touched upon too, I think, in regards to Ed's relationship with, like, guns and using guns. He has a very idealistic way of, like, how the world should work and personal belief system that doesn't always fit into, like, the complicated structures of how people have built society. So he's a child.
I just feel like at this point maybe he would know better just because of, like, everything he's found out about the military.
We can't expect Ed's trying to get his body back. He doesn't have time for institutional racism.
I know he's got a lot going on. That's fair. Also, I was thinking about this, like, a while ago.
Yeah.
And I kept forgetting to ask you that. Ed and Al haven't killed anybody yet.
No.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Like, I'm like, have they killed anybody? I don't think so.
Not outright.
No, because I'm thinking maybe I was like, was it like Lior? But then I'm like, they didn't kill anybody.
No, they didn't kill anyone because Father Cornello was killed by the homunculi.
Right.
Yeah. So, but no, they actually have never killed anyone because it plays into, like, they are very deliberate and intentional about not taking lives, which also, like, I think is represented by kind of the use of guns.
Like Batman.
Exactly.
There's not rich like Batman.
So I also want to put out here that I'm not, like, pissing on Ed's, like, worldview or anything, or, like, the things that he believes in, because I think it's all good. I think it's really interesting to compare especially because we've had, like, recent conversations about like institutional kind of structures and things like that. I've been talking to other people about that, especially with the current climate, I think, of, like, American politics, which we're not getting into. And so, like, a lot of views have been shifted just from, like, trying to solve small problems to, like, the big, like, structural issues of things. This is not what Fullmetal Alchemist is necessarily about, or this is not, like, what Ed believes in. I'm not, like, pissing on his views, or saying that he's wrong for saying we should all get along because he's right. But I think
it's more
we're viewing it from the lens of, like, I think in a spot in, I think, like, our growth as a society of, like, being able to actually look at that more clearly. So
yeah, and, like, I was mentioning it too early, like, when you, like, kind of, like, when you're what you're taught growing up,
yeah, is
very black, especially in America, it's very black and white,
yeah.
And when you grow up, you learn a lot of different stuff, and it's very hard to, like, break what you've learned.
Yeah.
So because, like, from adults, because, like, you're supposed to trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that whole thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Fullmetal Alchemist
Brotherhood.
The war began right after I was posted here. Many of my relatives, including my grandfather, were killed in the East. I fell outside the military's purge requirements, so I was spared.
You're welcome.
You didn't hold any grudge against the military?
You don't understand how the world works now, do you?
I know I'm ignorant about some things.
Yeah.
Yes.
If
You're
I
racist?
offended you, I'm sorry.
Aw.
An ignorant state alchemist, you say?
So we learned?
Interesting.
He's learning. He's doing the best that he can.
There's a lot going on.
Resent the
Like,
military's
yeah.
actions.
There's a lot going on, period.
we don't need to get into political stuff right now. Maybe, like, after.
That's true.
The presence of someone with Ishvalan blood could cause discord among the soldiers stationed here.
This is Briggs. No matter what happens, this territory must not fall. Every soldier here must be both strong and flexible. In short, we do not have the luxury of discrimination here. The blood of several races flows within you, and with that comes varying strengths and values. You can see this country in a way that others cannot.
Yeah.
She's right.
I was born and raised in Amestris. In order to lead, I need someone with your eyes. Now shut up and follow me, Miles.
Also, like, if you're going
I even went so far
what's
as
her
to
name
ask
again?
her, what if the Ishvalan blood within me cannot forgive what the military did to
Olivier.
my people?
Olivier.
To know the
If you're gonna go to
general
war,
said
maybe
that.
put your hair up,
Fine,
because,
then.
like, it's covering
Bring
by
it.
your eyes.
On behalf of the military,
She
I
gotta
will
look cool,
accept
though.
your challenge anytime.
That was it.
What a scary
Yeah,
lady.
but also, like,
Maybe she said that.
That wasn't it at all.
I'll fight you one-on-one!
The look in her eye.
She's so terrifying.
I
love it.
will step on you.
Please. I think Miles is far enough removed from, like, because he's only a quarter Ishvalan. One, I think he was allowed to stay that way. And two, he even confronts General Armstrong about it and says, like, hey, do I need to leave? And she was like, no. And she makes, like, a really good point here about that, you know, it's important in her line, you know, defending the border and everything like that, to combine as many people as possible from all different backgrounds. And he's like, and she says, you know, me as someone who is fully Amestrian and grew up with this, she's like, I'm, you know, I have certain blind spots. And she's like, she says, I need your eyes, which is a really good, like, double, like, meaning, because she's like, I need your eyes and I need your perspective, but also I need your eyes as in because his eyes are what set him apart, because he's just fallen. So it's a really good line there.
Yeah.
And so and she also says, I'm just going to read from the wiki, shout out wiki writers. It says, if his Ishvalan blood refused to forgive Amestris for the treatment of Ishval, she promised to act as her nation's representative and face him one-on-one in a duel for death. So she's crazy. So Armstrong is really interesting because she is, again, like, very into... You get me, Dara.
I do.
So because she's, like, has this very ruthless kind of demeanor about her, and that she's willing to do anything and, like, use anything as a weapon, but she's also, like, very like, accepting in a way where, like, she cares about definitely the people, like, in her core.
It's funny because, like, of, like, what something she says about, like, Mustang, like, later on.
Yeah.
But they're kind of similar in that
And
sense.
I think that's why I think she, and we'll talk about this next episode when it gets brought up, but I think there's, like, almost a rivalry there because I think they want similar things. I think they have different methods for achieving their goals sometimes, but I think, like, there's a certain rivalry because they're people with a very strong vision that are vying kind of for the same power.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to compare and contrast the two, but I think we'll talk a little bit more about that next episode. So then we kind of go extending from that conversation, talking about the, you know, Fort Briggs, survival of the fittest, all that kind of stuff.
That's right. Without power, you die. And if you have it, you might survive. That fact always remains the same 365 days a year. It's a simple life, really. Survival of the fittest in action. Your luck was strong, so you survived.
And we get to really see just, like, how ruthless this place is, because Ed is walking, and he trips, and by tripping actually avoids a icicle falling down, which would have probably killed him, like, stabbed him. And,
the end.
Like, it's deadly. Like, those icicles are deadly because they will fall and then impale you. Yeah, that's it. That's the show. Ed died.
There's been several like TV shows where that has happened to people.
Yeah, that's true.
And they either die or they don't die.
They're severely injured.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking of Grey's Anatomy.
I was also thinking about Grey's Anatomy.
I was thinking of, like, this video game. I think it's Lucian.
Okay.
Where it's like, do you know the game Hitman?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like that, but like mixed with the Omen.
Oh, okay.
So basically you just, like, go around. It's, like, very not, like, great graphics, but it's kind of just like you're finding puzzles. So, like, and I think one of the murders is, like, an icicle. I never actually played the game, but I watched, like, PewDiePie's, like, whole playthrough.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sometimes people don't feel like playing games. We just want to watch a good playthrough. Anyway, so yeah, those icicles are deadly, and then
they're like, pick them off now, guys.
Yep, Ed and Elle's like, they're like, you are now tasked with getting rid of these, because, you know, they don't care about the vibrato of their titles or anything. They're just like, all right, here, we're just going to put you to work, and then we'll go from there. So they start trying to pick away the icicles.
Ed's too short.
Ed is too short, and it's so funny. It's so funny. Because he's just like, sometimes I think too, like, Ed's like called short, but we don't get to, like, see, like, a show of that shortness. So when we do, it's funny.
These icicles all need to be scraped off. That'll be your job for today. When you're finished, one of my men will show you to your quarters.
Oh
Damn, I can't reach.
Is that you?
no! Hey!
The Elric brothers. But then Northern Command bumped me up here.
They promoted you.
Hooray!
Hey, that's great. Congratulations. But why are you knocking down icicles? They've taken you off the career track?
That's upsetting.
Poor guy. Sector.
And while they're doing that, they run into an old friend of ours, Vato Fallman.
Good luck, buddy.
Good luck, buddy, who was...
he gets the butt end of everything.
He gets the butt end of everything. So he was the one of Mustang's crew who was assigned to the North region. And he was at the Northern Command, which is separate from Briggs. It's just like a regular command center. But he then got sent up to Briggs. But good news is that he was promoted from warrant officer to second lieutenant.
Hooray!
So good for him. He got a promotion. Yay. It doesn't mean anything. The
Why?
promotion doesn't mean anything. Well, because they make a joke about him because he was also assigned, I think, to get rid of the icicles. And they're like, if you're doing a job like this here, that means they've kicked you off the career path. So...
why'd they promote him and then kick him off the career path?
It's a great question.
It's like if you're in the Briggs, are you kind of just like a nobody, or you like
not necessarily. I mean, like,
is that like
Major General Armstrong is a force to be.
Is that like higher command than like where he was originally? Because I just thought like they brought him up there because it was like a higher command thing, but then you have Major General Armstrong, which is kind of like. No, you have to start from the bottom and then go up.
That could be it as
That's
well.
what I assumed.
Yeah, that could be that one could be the case. It also could be the case if there is an underlying punishment from like big command because of his associations. So we don't know. We can make guesses, but it's just a joke that like, wow, you were promoted, but like the title doesn't mean anything in this environment, and it's funny.
Finally, some humor.
Like Fallman. There's always humor sprinkled throughout. You just have to find it through all of the traumatizing shit.
This department researches the country's latest technologies and develops them into weapons.
Good old R&D. She loves them weapons.
Yeah. Now come on, follow me.
Why'd they take him off the career path?
This is the lowest level of Fort Briggs.
It's warm down.
Aren't they supposed to be picking up
It
icicles?
was up above.
All the fort's
fine.
most important
They're gonna come back
functions,
anyway.
lifelines come through here. Even if the fort's attacked, this area will remain safe.
Over here! It's coming. From underground.
What?
Sounds like someone's digging through the rock. Maybe it's spies from Drogba.
Isn't it Alaska before?
It is.
What a pain. It's so annoying. All this digging. It's killing me.
Hey, finally.
I guess dying would be a pain too.
We've not tried.
Oh no.
Okay. It's a sloth.
It is a sloth.
Fullmetal
Alchemist.
Hello.
Oh, hey, it's Sloth. Hi, Sloth.
Why is he there?
Good question. Ben Fallman gets to take the Elrex on a tour. They have a weapons R&D program there. So basically people who are making big, cool weapons like tanks and shit that blows up. It's a good time all around.
Did somebody say boom?
Did somebody say boom? Well, speaking of that, while they're kind of looking around, they bring in some kind of mechanic or something comes through, and because there's this giant piping that runs through there.
Yeah.
And they're listening to typing. They hear something that sounds suspicious.
Yep.
Someone is here. Someone is just gonna plow right through and make their appearance.
It's a sloth.
Hey, Dara, have you met Sloth?
No.
Well, we do now. So this is the first official appearance of Sloth, who was kind of just digging holes.
That's his job out of the Deadly Sins.
Literally underneath Briggs. His job is to dig hole and build tunnel. Entire job.
And our references, whereas mine was holes, and yours was Lion King 1.5.
Dig a tunnel.
Which involves the digging there is protecting yourself from prey.
Yeah.
And holes is child labor.
Yeah, which, I mean, yours is probably more apt because, like, literally, it is child labor.
That's a good movie, though.
Yeah, I was trying to think of it. I couldn't remember the song from Holes, and so
dig it. That's like the worst part of that movie, though, for being honest.
That's fair.
Because like that movie is like surprisingly good, and like actually it's like one of those movies where like they give you like a bunch of different stories and they all kind of mesh together in the end.
Yeah, yes, and it's a very faithful adaptation. Everyone,
it is. I like the book actually.
Yeah, but. So yes, so I was trying to think of a song, and the first one I could think of was the Dig a Tunnel song.
For Lion King 1.5.
For Lion King 1.5. It's iconic. Quick before the hyenas come. So we go
I think from that is like the DVD of that where they had like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh yeah,
like game on it. Back when DVD extras were fun, and I mean, I like behind the scenes stuff, but like back when you could play a game on it.
Yeah, like we have the technology.
And like I think then Meredith Vieira was the host, so they put her in the host for that too.
Oh yeah.
And I remember this thing of just like the ranking of it, and then because Timon's like playing it, and then he's like, I'm one level above Grub. God, I miss old kids.
That's really good. That's really good. So Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So yeah, exactly. We go from just like hanging out at Fort Briggs to now we are under attack.
What is it?
We've got
a sloth
from under the ground, sir.
It's pretty funny. It's like an actual sloth. It's like
just an actual sloth.
Or like that in Zootopia.
Oh my god.
Hello.
Hi, sloth.
Homunculus.
Is his power just strong?
Damn it.
Yeah.
Do they know we've come here to
basically
find
a
a way
tank.
of fighting them?
Maybe he's a sweet guy.
He's sleeping.
Aww.
What's this?
But you see, we're just trying to find a way to get our bodies back, that's all.
Why should I care about you? Go dig a hole. How annoying. Really, what a pain.
Literally, he has one job.
He doesn't know?
Dig hole.
No, I don't think he's heard about us from Father or Fury Brown.
No, I was thinking hole.
Sloth, we can kind of hear the things that he's saying throughout all of this. He just seems to be like really just bothered by the whole thing. Like he's like inherently like he really embodies Sloth well because he's like lazy, like everything is a bother to him, everything's a bore. And even when he first shows up, he just like kind of like falls asleep for a second. And it's kind of funny. And he does not attack because he's not like, it's not like, oh, I'm sent here to attack. It's more like I have one job and I will make sure that I get to go back and do my job because like literally that's all I'm supposed to do. So it's more about removing like the pests from kind of the environment to do his job rather than it is about being sent by Father to attack them.
So his power is dig.
Yeah. He's basically just like a giant hulking kind of guy who's literally just like big, strong, and has muscles. And that's like really all that he's doing.
It is kind of funny that technically you could like, it's like a thing of like, wait, so like our Sloth and Gluttony kind of have the same powers, but like they're different because like...
Yeah. Like
technically Gluttony is like a failed transmutation.
Yeah, like a failed gate. It's more exists to be like a gate and less of people. Like, yeah. And it's really interesting too, because I think
and smell people.
Yeah. Like Sloth is like a tank. And so like in the array of skills that the homunculi have, I mean, you have Greed, who's like an ultimate shield.
Yeah.
But it's more of like, but Greed is like quick and has a shield, whereas Sloth is just more like big and strong and then is just really just hard, is nearly impervious that way. And basically all good for it, just like have muscle and just these giant hands to just like, you know,
so our powers are eat, dig, ultimate shield, ultimate eye,
ultimate spear,
that thing, and then shapeshift, and then pride,
who wait till we get to Pride's thing.
Is that today?
I think it is. Not to spoil. I was looking at the episode. I think this is the one.
It's the one.
I think the one where some shit gets. One of
my 12 theories will be right.
What are you? If you just have as many theories as possible, it'll be fine.
Like the one I sent you yesterday.
I'm excited to. Now is not the time to talk about that one because I think we'll get to some stuff.
That one's not even correct, if we're being honest. I just made that up.
No. But I would like to honor it, but like not in this episode. because we gotta give Sloth time to shine before we get to some other weird theories.
And then it's more just kind of like a giant fight at this point.
Yeah, at this point it's really just kind of a giant fight.
So it turns out that you really are a Druckmann spy.
No,
we're not.
I saw you talking to the intruder like you knew who he was.
No, we weren't.
Your lies won't fool me.
Also, like, can you fake an alchemist's watch? So, like, hey, guy. Oh, so he's actually an intruder. He wasn't, like, working before. That's not gonna work.
He was in the process of doing his job and then just happened to...
For the military? Or for
father.
Oh, what? So, but his job is just to dig?
Literally, yeah.
For land?
This is bad. That thing's going into development.
Is he depressed?
He's just
Is he in therapy?
Probably. We all do.
What's all the boxes we have?
I guess the 8th deadly sin, major depressive disorder.
The 10th circle of hell, which is...
Why are you going up the elevator if you need to dig a hole, buddy?
Quick before the hyenas come.
Quick before the hyenas come. Bazooka.
It would be hilarious if they just like kept going and going and going, and then he just it's like, bye.
He's fine.
You gotta keep shooting them.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Don't stop. Literally don't stop. The people at Briggs think this is some kind of like Druckmann spy or like a weapon or weird thing from Drachma, and so they're just kind of going to attack it. The Elrics see the Ouroboros tattoo on it and is like, oh shit, we know what this is. And the Elrics at first are like, hey, we're not causing any trouble, because what they think first is that Sloth is being sent directly to them by Father because they are stepping out of bounds of what they're allowed to do. And so the Elrics are like, hey, we're literally just here to do some research on getting our bodies back. Like, that was, you guys said it was okay. Like, we're staying out of your way. But Sloth like doesn't give a shit because
Sloth's just kind of like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Sloth is literally like, yo, I need to go there and you're in the way, so get out of the way. But obviously no one lets Sloth just do what he's there to do, and so they start attacking.
And the other girls are kind of like, that's not gonna work. And then General Armstrong's like, how do you know that's not gonna work? Are you a spy for the millionth time?
And also because they were talking about it like they know it, like they could see the recognition that the Elrics had for this thing, and they're like, oh shit, you know what this is? Are you in cahoots? And they're like, no. They're like, but like, are you in cahoots though?
And this part where General Armstrong's like, you need to tell me.
I know that I hit it.
Your speed is your advantage.
No, it's consistency.
Firearms won't work against him.
What? Have the trials been completed?
We don't need to worry about trials. These are the development
trials.
team's
Where we're going. You
Remove the
trials.
fuses from the shell.
We should probably worry about trials. They could.
What about tribulations?
Okay, now keep shooting it with the tank.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Tank versus tank. This is really what this is. Everyone should be wearing some kind of sound protective equipment. I can't imagine it's gonna blow out everyone's eardrums. This is not OSHA approved.
Pain is a pain.
Pain is a pain.
Annoying.
It is annoying. I like it.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there.
He gets
Load
it.
the next round.
Why does it change on it?
It's a good question. For the aesthetic.
There you go. We did it. Well, oh, he's got also.
The dude is strong as hell.
To work.
Yeah, but that one thing hit him in the face, and he got bruised.
Just let the man go back to digging his hole.
Wasn't he get in the way of digging the hole? Of like, he found them and then started attacking them.
Yeah. He's just annoyed. He's like, get out of my fucking way.
Oh my god, he's an alchemist?
It won't work. Try whatever you want to, but he won't die.
He won't. You will answer all my questions clearly and completely. First off, how do you know about that thing? Are you a Druckmann spy?
No.
I'm not.
Is that thing a spy?
I really doubt it.
Does that thing know
There's a bigger problem than Drachma right now.
Apparently not.
What is that thing?
It's a
I can't answer.
The Elrics go up and they're like, yeah. They're like, you cannot kill this thing. And Armstrong's like, how do you know all of this? And she kind of asks them a series of questions about like who they are and what they're here and what they're doing. And they are basically like, we cannot answer. Like literally, like even if they talked around it or just like, hey, we can't say it because of this, like it would draw too many lines and they are not willing to risk
I thought it was like drawing a line kind of like similar to the episode where Hughes died and Major Armstrong was like telling Mustang stuff.
Yeah.
Or like walking around stuff, but like doing it in like and making Mustang upset until he realized that like he can't tell me something because of something else, which means that. So I thought like she was kind of getting the vibe of just like, okay, like they can't tell me. I was assuming because of like somebody upper than her.
Yeah.
Said something, but then you said like that's not how it works here.
Yeah.
So then I'm kind of thinking like, okay, like they don't trust me or like it's like bigger than anything. So like we need to maybe like fight this guy and then like get somewhere safe so that they can tell me everything.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, that kind of comes up in the next episode, but right.
Why can't you answer me?
I can't answer. I'm not with him. I don't want to see anyone here get hurt.
Then
Can't
tell
the
me
reason
what that
be I
thing's
can't
made
tell
of.
you because
His body's
somebody
structure
higher
and
up than you
compositional
told me?
elements
I
are
think there
probably
is-
the same as a human's.
That
There's no
The
way he
same
can
as
say
a human's,
anything
huh?
without her being able to connect some
Buccaneer,
dots.
bring me some tank fuel now.
Set him on fire, but he still won't die.
I understand.
Keep setting
I
him
gone
on
for my
fire.
last attack,
What
but
did
we can't
Mustang
kill
teach
it.
us?
The best that we can hope for is to stop or delay it. So we'll have to hit it with something even stronger than fire.
Ice?
Oh,
Now you get to see the Briggs way, kid.
nice.
The end?
Yay!
Knew
That's
it.
the end already.
I
Oh my
knew
God,
it.
That went so fast. The biggest worry for the Elrics right now is not just their own personal safety, but the safety of their friends and family, because they have been very specifically threatened with like Winry, for instance, because they want to protect her because like she's basically in a hostage situation right now. She does not know she's a hostage, but she's essentially a hostage.
Is Pinocchio a hostage or they're kind of like, yeah, she's old?
Yeah, they mostly bring up, I think, Winry against her, and I don't think anyone gives a shit about Pinocchio, and that works in her favor.
We also don't give a shit about Papa.
Yeah, no.
And Mama is dead.
And Mama is deceased. So
Several times over.
Yeah. But basically, in this episode, which is the fight continuing, Armstrong seems like she has something up her sleeve, or at least is determined, like, she's not gonna be like pushed aside by this thing. She's like, no. This is Briggs we're talking about. We got this.
Hooray!
And that's kind of where the episode ends. Thoughts on this episode, Dara?
I kind of feel like if you combine it with like the next episode, it kind of feels like it's like there's like bits where there's like nothing really happening, and then there's bits where like a lot's happening.
Yeah.
And like you're getting a lot of, it's more kind of like not a lot's happening, but like you're getting a lot of information.
Yeah, like I think like the first part of this episode is a lot of information, which is why I think we talked a lot about it, because we're really revealing more about the people at Briggs, and just like kind of what their deal is, and the fact that they're just I'm not sure if they're a complicated crew, but they are very multifaceted and they have a lot of depth to them. So it becomes really interesting to talk about. And the last half of the episode is like a lot of action, which is really cool and like really entertaining to watch. Just like you're like, oh, a cool action scene happened. And that's like, we're kind of where the discussion ends.
It does make me think like, man, I do wish I could like actually like want to survive in the cold.
Yeah, because it seems cool up there. I probably would lose my mind though.
I mean, it's just like you want to go. I mean, like at least like when even like here when it's like too hot for survival, I will at least like go outside and like go to a restaurant and get food. I can at least do that. I mean, like, 'cause I can just like blast my air conditioning and you're not outside for that long. But I feel like in the cold, I wouldn't even want to do that.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, it was like cold and like rain.
Oh my god, like yesterday was so cold. So I live in like the middlest unit of my like apartment building, and so usually all of my neighbors' heat will like heat my apartment, and I don't have to put my heat on. I guess no one put on their heat yesterday because my apartment was freezing, and I refused to put it on because I'm like, my electric bill is so low, I'm keeping it that way. So I like put my like electric blanket on, and I was just like this for the whole night.
Is it just so low because you keep off the lights off and then just keep your computer on the whole time?
My electricity bill is so low because I never run my AC or heat.
Just like have like your electronics plugged in. I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, Fullmetal Alchemist. Let's do some trivia and then get to the next episode finally. So just some trivia for this episode. This episode is based on content from chapters 65 and 66 of the manga. The array that appears in the background of this episode's title card is the Ouroboros, I guess just in honor of Sloth. Yay, Sloth. This is the first episode in which the hair on Alphonse's helmet is cut short. And also I think the first time that's like really mentioned. Because we didn't like it because it's very much decoration to us and we didn't realize that like Al cared about it. So sorry, Al. The tanks deployed against Sloth are based on German PZKPFW4s, and I'm assuming that stands for something because PZ is probably Panzer. Panzerkampffahre. I don't know what that would stand for with my limited German knowledge, which is a World War II medium tank.
Nice.
So weapons. They love their weapons up in Briggs. So any other thoughts on this episode, Dara?
Do you think it'd be nice to have like a Thanksgiving meal without Thanksgiving food?
What a great question. I love that you are intent on padding the runtime of this episode out longer.
I was thinking about it because you say any other thoughts, but I'm like, do you say any other thoughts on this episode? And then I'm like, if you say any other thoughts, I can just like go on a tangent.
You can.
I never thought about it, but then you said this episode, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm going on this like tiny little. You don't even have to answer the question. I just thought it'd be funny.
I love a good bit. I appreciate that. Well, I'm cutting you off. You're losing your speaking privileges like for the next 30 seconds.
No, I was say Thanksgiving pizza, but DeJarno actually didn't make Thanksgiving pizza.
Oh God. You know what? I've never actually had a gobbler from Wawa before. Have you ever had that?
No, because I don't really like the mix-in. I don't really like cranberries. Like I
think I just don't trust turkey from Wawa. Turkey's fine.
I've had their turkey. And
yeah, it's fine.
Apparently, Kate Winslet really liked it.
Okay.
Because that's when they were doing Mare of Easttown. Like that was like the big thing. When she was like that's the big thing she's talking about. Like that because they were filming around that time.
Yeah.
So she was like, this place called Wawa, and they've got this like Thanksgiving thing.
Oh, we love that. Anyway.
No, I just don't really I'm okay with mashed potatoes, but I'm not great on it, and I don't really like gravy. Everything put corn in. I'm like corn, very much like all I really like at Thanksgiving is like turkey, the salad, and bread. That's really all I like.
Hell yeah. So we're gonna take a break now.
Or mac and cheese if we never have it at my house.
So we're going to take a break now. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about Fullmetal Alchemist episode 35, The Shape of This Country.
It's a heart, right?
Yeah. It's because it's full of love.
Wait,
this is full of love.
Does this mean that we're old if we do it like this?
Yeah. It's like what millennial heart is this. Gen Z heart is...
No, it's like this.
Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Well, hold on. No, I think it was something... I think it's like this. Is it this?
We can look it up.
Oh my God, we can look it up. What's it? They do like a weird one. This and then like this, I think, and then there's this, and then I think there's another one. Putting on my skepticals.
That I learned at Jewish summer camp.
Skepticals, nice.
Because that was like part of our 5-minute prayer that we say after our meal.
All right, stay tuned. And also, he got like stabbed, I think, so he might be out of commission for a minute.
Did he get stabbed?
Yeah, remember in the fight with Scar?
No.
Yeah, don't worry.
Kimberly,
this is plot relevant.
I believe you.
He was severely wounded on a cargo train headed here. He was checked into a hospital at the base of the mountain.
Who?
The full cooperation of the Briggs branch is requested.
Why was Kimberly headed up north? I thought he was serving time in prison.
Yep.
Apparently he was released on the Fuhrer's orders.
I don't like this.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
Why did Ed Elric just have an all lives matter moment?
Because he's young and dumb and he barely gets the content.
He's doing the best that he can.
Yes, I was.
Just what are you saying? How does a kid like you know something like that, huh?
Long story. Is there an end credit scene?
I think so.
Winry, just stay there.
Winry, please make updated automail for Ed. Oh no, that's just the preview. I guess not. Why does it do that?
No, what they do in Monarchy. Remember The Prince and Me? That was like the one movie about like a monarch falling for like a normal person, but they actually used a real country.
Oh yeah, isn't that crazy? Good stuff.
I feel like for those, you should just make up a country.
You just gotta make up country.
Like a Christmas Prince, which we surprisingly enjoyed.
We did. That's available on Patreon if you want to see our reactions to it because it's pretty funny.
Is that a soccer?
Yeah, there's a lot of sport. Actually, I really like sports anime because I think it like a lot of it's just like about the power of friendship.
I literally only heard of the ice skating one from that H-Bomber guy video.
Yeah. Aw, Yuri on Ice. I actually really like that one. People have mixed feelings on it, but I actually really like Yuri on Ice.
Well, because apparently it's gay.
It's so gay. Okay, I was about to go on a whole rant about Yuri on Ice, but like we do not have the time.
Did we just go on a rant that was not recorded?
Yeah, that was probably better than it wasn't. Oh my god, I don't want to know how long that was. How long was it? An hour?
55 minutes.
Fuck. That was good though. It's just gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long fucking day.